of The Profitable Farmer, where we talk about ways that you can get more profitable out of your farming operation, right? Now, the profitability factor really has to do with some very simple concepts. Farming can be very complicated, very complex. There's different inputs, there's different chemicals, different nutrients, different watering structures. Today, I wanted to talk about your irrigation structure, how you irrigate the crops, not whether you irrigate, but how you irrigate. Because if you're not irrigating, then and you're in a dryland area, you're kind of at nature's whim, right? If it's dry, too dry, you can have a problem. If it's not dry enough, too wet, then you have a problem anyway. But I'm kind of specifically talking to the irrigating farmers here because these types of farming operations, just by their very nature, have a little bit more control over their crops and how to make sure that their crops are going right. Now, today's episode, I want to talk about um, sort of frequency of irrigation, how often you're irrigating the crops. Now, the reason why I talk about this, the reason I personally have an interest in this is because the technology that we have, our crop booster technology, really works better and produces the best results when the irrigation is applied more frequently. It doesn't mean that we're putting more water on the crops. It just means that more frequently we're irrigating. We're keeping the water, those plants hydrated. Now, I'm not asking anybody um, to change necessarily their irrigation structure, but there's a couple of reasons why you want to keep plants hydrated. You don't want to keep them waterlogged or flooded where the roots are going to get flooded in and they're going to start having root rot and other problems. But if you have the ability to irrigate more often as opposed to less often, you're going to find that you're going to keep the plants hydrated, and you're going to also find you'll probably use quite a bit less water than you normally would use. I'll give you a case in point. One of our growers, Jim Reed, is a citrus grower out in California. And if for those of you guys who don't know, in California, they're having very serious drought issues, and they've had a very bad drought for probably the last 4 or 5 years, and maybe even longer. In fact, that's getting so bad where they're actually considering building a completely new reservoir or new reservoirs in an effort to kind of hold on to the water they have, because the surface irrigation, the amount of water available from rainfall and snowpack is just not enough to continue all the agriculture and to give people fresh drinking water as well. So it's been a real issue. In fact, a lot of growers are going out of business or leaving their land fallow because they just can't afford to sell their crops. They can't afford to put all the expense of growing their crops, whether it's nutrition, watering, all this stuff. They've got regulations that if they use more than a certain amount of water, some counties are actually metering the water, even the water that's being pulled up from wells and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of issues with droughts in California. Well, one of our growers has a 100-acre grove that he has our Kyminasi crop booster installed on, and he's got a little home grove with a few acres of orange trees at home. And at home, he had been experimenting with the new irrigation method called pulse irrigation. And the idea is you give the trees a little bit of water multiple times per day, right? So you increase the amount and the frequency that you're irrigating, but instead of irrigating once a week for 24 or 36 hours and just soaking the field, you're irrigating them, 15, 20 minutes, but maybe 2 or 3 times every day. And because you're giving the trees regular watering, you're actually able to use a lot less water than you normally would if you're flooding it once a week. And he was experimenting this with his home grove, and when he put this on his grove with our technology on, he noticed that he saved a lot of water on his 100-acre grove. In fact, he said he saved probably about 20 to 25% of his water just in even installing it halfway through a season. So, and he said if he had a full season behind it, he estimates he probably could save 30 to 40% of the amount of water that he would normally use to keep his orange trees, well hydrated. And he just sent us a couple of testimonial videos, which we'll have up on our website. Anybody that wants copies of those, please let us know. Just send a request to service@harvestharmonics.com. And I'm happy to share his testimonial with you, where he's walking you through the orange groves and showing you how healthy and how beautiful these oranges look. And he says this is the largest yield he's seen in 53 years, the best he's seen in terms of quality and quantity of his oranges in over 50 years. And he's doing this with 20 to 30% less water than he normally would use. So if you're a farmer in California and you're almond farmer, citrus farmer, avocado farmer, nut farmer, any type of farmer where you're struggling to get enough water to keep your crops hydrated, let's work together with the crop booster, because the crop booster will make the plants more efficient. It will help the plants in the soil retain water more efficiently so that you don't need as much water. And it will, of course, give you the opportunity to produce a much healthier, much better quality product as well. And so we want to do everything we can to help farmers that are under drought conditions, or if you have irrigation water that's just poor quality because it has too much salt in it or those types of things, the crop booster can definitely help you with that. So let's work together to help your farm become more profitable by reducing the water and other input costs, and of course, making the plants and trees more efficient so that you can get the most out of all that fertility and all those inputs that you're already spending money on. So if you want more information, please, again, you can drop us a line at service@harvestharmonics.com, or our phone number here is on the page here as well, 727-324-6750. You can also go to our website at harvestharmonics.com and fill out a request for quote form. But let's sit down and discuss your farming operation, your specific needs and your specific challenges, and let's work out a plan so we can show you what kinds of fertility meshes, what kind of watering schedule, and of course, the Kyminasi crop booster, which will allow you to do all of that more efficiently so that you can become more profitable here in 2023. And of course, that you can become more futuristic and more energetic here and become part of the future of farming today. I hope to hear from you guys very, very soon. We're already filling a lot of orders that were kind of pent up from last year. So we're like busy bees trying to get these orders out to our customers. But we, of course, have plenty of time to talk to new faces. So give us a call, send us an email, and let's work together so that you can become part of the future of farming today. Have a great day, guys, and we'll talk again very soon.